This tutorial shows you how to set up registration items for your event, assuming that you intend to accept online registration. After you click the Registration Items button on the left, a template pop-up will appear giving you options to choose several templates that will help you set up your event. I'm going to skip these templates for now, just so I can show you how to manually set up these classifications and registration items. And if you ever get lost, you can use the templates or the help files. Now, we begin at the top. Here's the template button. This will relaunch the template window. We'll close that. This is group setup, which we'll address later. And group setup is very useful when you have multiple items that the user can register for, but you'd only like them to select one or a portion of the total amount offered. So if you're offering 3 simultaneous sessions on Tuesday in the morning and 3 simultaneous sessions on Tuesday in the afternoon, and you only want the user to pick one in each group, you would use the group setup. Then there's 3 registration item button creation tools here on the right, and those are Enhanced, Standard, and Simple. We'll begin with an enhanced registration item. And by the way, all of these work the same. When you click them, it will prompt you for the name of the item you're setting up, and we'll just do general registration. And then it will ask you to whom you wish to offer this opportunity to register: attendees, exhibitors and attendees, or exhibitors only. Now on some of our sites, this may be sponsors and attendees and different names, but in general, the idea is who would you like to offer this to? Then, where would you like this to be offered? On the primary registration form or on the form that guests see when they come in to register separately on invitation from a primary registrant? You can pick one, both, or all. We'll hit Create, and then the system will create the item that you just made. The title is here. You can edit that at any time. And here you put in a brief description. The fun begins at 9 a.m. Whatever. You can do whatever you want. You can upload whatever type of photo you want. Now with an enhanced registration item, there are several attributes that you will get that you don't get with the standard registration item. First among them is the ability to add subcategories. After I click the subcategories button, you'll see that I can choose from division, meal, time slot, and color. And this again will vary across our sites. Whatever options you have, the functionality is going to be the same. If you don't see an option that you would like, you can create a new one right here. New option. Add it. And then once you add it, you can activate it and put a limit on it. So you can imagine there can be multiple different uses for this. The most common usage is division, and the next most common usage is time slot. So if you have events, little sub-events occurring at 9, 10, and 11, and you want to limit the people that can sign up for the 9 o'clock slot, you'll activate it, put your limit in, and then activate 9:30, put your limit in, etc. So it's very simple to set up subcategories for your registration item. Then on the right, you'll notice this is the most important piece here, limit per customer. With enhanced registration items, we default this to 1. Typically, this is used if you're setting up an event with scoring or a competition category or even any other general category where the person who's signing up is the only person who can register for that particular item on that registration form. It doesn't mean they can't have a guest and that guest can't sign up for that thing. It just means whoever's in the form at the time can only select one. They can't select 3, 5, 10, or whatever. So that is another key feature of the enhanced registration item. The tracking on the enhanced registration items is the same as it is for standard, but again, if you have a scoring category, this is what you must use. There's a number of attributes along the right. Each of them has a description. If you just mouse over it, it will tell you what that thing does. Most of them are intuitive. The overall limit is very useful, and you can set the overall number of people that can register for this item. So if this is an activity, a ticket, or whatever, you can say, hey, when we get to 20, shut it down. There is also another limit which is in a separate section, and that's to limit the overall number of bodies that can be at your event. That's different from setting a per category limit here, and we'll get to that in a minute. Let's set up two things. Let's set up two workshops, and now I'm going to use the standard to set up two workshops and show you how this works. And we'll do session 1. And we'll keep this as an activity. And then I'm going to copy this and edit the title, and we'll call this session 2. Now let's say you've got a couple of these. We're only going to do this set, and you want to limit the user to picking either session 1 or session 2. Then what you're going to have to do is use the grouping tool to group these together and apply a limit. So we'll do a group, and we'll call this, these are activity items, and then we'll call this morning sessions, and we'll allow the person to pick one item per group, and we'll display it as the number 1. If you have multiple groups, you'll change that display. So now I will open this up, and I can say this goes in the morning sessions group, and so does this. Now, what you'll see is that both of these sessions are in the morning group, and attendees may only select one. Finally, there's a simple ticket item. And the simple ticket item is very useful for generating, yes, you guessed it, a simple ticket. This is scannable, and you can set it up for a single day or multi-day, and anybody on your team with a smartphone and free scanning software who logs in with authority can scan this ticket when the spectator or the user who has it brings it and validate the ticket. So setting up a simple ticket item is the same bit. You just put in the name, general admission, and you can set the time limit. And it will create another block item here called ticket items. It has its own variations. So that is pretty much how you set up your registration items. Again, I encourage you to begin with the templates, and once you're finished setting up your registration items, then you can go to these other areas, registration setup, and set up when registration opens, what the dates are, whether there are minors allowed to be registered, whether there's an overall limit to the number of attendees, how you want to accept payment, and things that appear on the registration form. We strongly recommend that you click the Preview and Publish button and then select Test Your Registration. This will take you to a full preview of your event and allow you to register for the event yourself so that you can see what the registrant experiences and change anything that you think is necessary to make the process easier. That's it for now.